Best and worst memory at UCR. For the worst moment, this is going to get a little personal, but I would say what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video with me, Will Wang. If you guys don't know me, I'm currently a second year student attending UCR. Before I start this Q&A, I just want to thank all of y'all for showing me so much love on my A Day in the Life as a UCR student video. And if you do end up enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button as I put a lot of effort into these videos. And plus, it's free to unsubscribe as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first question we have is, how is high school compared to college? I would say the main difference is that you get a lot more freedom. So I have the freedom to wake up whenever I want, and there's less mandatory events to go to. And in reality, if I don't want to go to class, I don't have to go to class either. However, it's like a trade-off, right? Since there's less mandatory events to go to, so you have to go out your way to go for opportunities. If I want to make new friends, I have to go on my way to make that happen. And if I want to look for a different opportunity, I have to be proactive and find them on my own. But overall, it's definitely a good thing because that's how real life is, right? Opportunities to come knocking at the door for you. You got to go look for these opportunities on your own. Second question is, what is your major and your GPA? I'm currently majoring in pre-business, hoping to concentrate in information system, and I have a 3.5. Next, we have how's the parties at UCR and any advice for rushing. Usually at UCR, at the beginning of the quarter, fraternities will throw open parties. However, as the quarter goes on, most of them become closed. The reason being is that the first, let's say a week or two, they're looking to recruit new members to rush for the fraternity. But there's definitely a good amount of parties at UCR. I am currently in a fraternity right now, and the number one advice I would give to someone who's trying to rush is just that never rush your fraternity or sorority for the parties. The reason being is that these are the people that you're going to spend a lot of time with, most likely. And so you got to make sure that your morals and your values line up with them. And plus, I think it's also good to make sure they're ambitious people, so they also push you to be better. As oftentimes these parties get old at the end of the day, and most importantly, you want to surround yourself in a positive environment. How are the lectures at UCR? So usually you have a big lecture and you have a discussion class. So in the big lectures, around 300, 400 people, and there's a professor giving a lecture. However, you also have a discussion class when there's a TA teaching the discussion. And those classes have around 20 to 30 people. One thing I would say is that before I came to college, I was extremely scared of the big lectures. I feel like I wouldn't be able to learn there. However, in my opinion, it's actually easier to succeed academic-wise in college. The reason being is that a lot of times people aren't disciplined to go to class. So by just going to class and going to your discussion, you already have a huge advantage over others. Plus, there's more resources as well. For example, each professor and your TA will be hosting office hours for one-on-one help. A lot of times if you have a close relationship with a professor, there's the high chance that they will round your grade up. And also, UCR also has a building called the ARC, where you can go there for one-on-one help from tutors that have took the class before. But overall, the 4 tips I'll give you is that go to lectures, go to discussion. If you need more help, go to your professor office hours and your TA office hours. And lastly, you still have the ARC. If you follow these 4 steps, I don't see how you wouldn't succeed at UCR or any other college campuses. How are the dorms and the food at UCR? If I remember correctly, there's a new dorm coming out called Dundee, there's Lothian, AI, and lastly we have Pentland. Overall, college is really what you make of it, so living at these different dorms wouldn't really matter. I would say Pentland's a little more quiet, but it really is what you make of it. So you can't go wrong with all 4 choices. As for food-wise, there's 2 dining halls at UCR. The first one's at AI and the other one's at Lothian. For dining hall-wise, I personally really like the dining hall. Overall, the food is not bad at all. It might get a little tiring eating at the same place over and over again, but if you're creative, add a little ranch, add a little ketchup here and there, you will survive. And there's also another option called Glenmore where you get a plate of food, and those are pretty good as well. And if you want to see more footages of the dining hall, feel free to check out my other video as a day in the life of a UCR student. At the end of that video, I did show the dining hall and show what I usually get from there. Best and worst memory at UCR. I wouldn't say I have one best memory. I'll probably break it out to 2 of them. I think the first one's when I got elected for my ASUCR position. I remember I was so happy when I got the position. I called my sister, and it was kind of like that movie. I don't know if y'all seen Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, where he finally got the job. And the second best memory would probably be when I crossed for my fraternity. I remember I was really happy to be an official member for my fraternity, and it was just a great moment overall. For the worst moment, this is going to get a little personal, but I would say it's during winter quarter when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. We broke up because of long distance. She went to Boston and she was like a Celtics dancer. I know, it sounds great, huh? It sounds like I'm bragging on paper. But in reality, it's not the best. Since during winter break, she only gets to come back for 6 days because you got to go back and dance. So that was a very hard quarter for me, and I got into a couple of fights with my sister. But shout out to my friends and my RA Shri for really helping me out and keeping me positive during those times. But overall, I wouldn't say I have too many bad moments at UCR. Next, we have what is ASUCR and how do you get involved? A perfect transition question since I just mentioned ASUCR. ASUCR essentially is the student government. How I would describe it to someone in high school is basically a buffed up version of ASB. How I would suggest getting involved is definitely starting off as a committee member or a first year fellow. During summertime and fall quarter, ASUCR has a lot of committees such as marketing committee, finance committee, and many more. How these committee recruits is that they'll be sending out an application form to your R-mail, so definitely keep an eye out in your R-mail and simply just fill out an application form. I highly encourage all of y'all to apply to be a committee member at ASUCR. So far, it's been a very, very rewarding experience for me. If you're an incoming first year and you don't have much on your resume, don't be discouraged, as a lot of times these committees will give you a chance, so definitely just apply. Shoot your shot. Go for the opportunities. The next question we have is how to become an RA at UCR. Honestly, I applied to be an RA and I didn't get the job, so I'm gonna call one of my close friends, Luis, who's an RA right now, for him to explain this one. Hey Siri, FaceTime Luis.
Making a FaceTime call.
Hey Luis, I'm making a YouTube video right now.
First things first, I would say you have to have a really strong willingness to learn and actually help others, specifically first-year students, and make sure that you're able to create a positive learning environment, and always be on your toes. You have to work in a team and making sure you're able to make programs for students. I would say that's the number one lesson right there.
So how would the application process work then? When do you apply and stuff like that?
So the application process varies from school to school, but here at UCR, the application process normally will go out during fall when you apply, and then it'll extend all the way to spring.
Alright, thank you Luis. I'll talk to you a bit. The next question we have is how to make friends at UCR. To be frank with you, if you put yourself out there, you should have no issue of finding a group of friends. First, if you live in the dorms, usually you get pretty close to the people who are in your hall, since you see them every day and you say hi to them. So that's one way to make friends. Another way I would suggest is join a different organization or clubs. Clubs are great. A lot of times they'll always be recruiting hard at the beginning of the fall quarter. It's really easy to join. Most of them are very friendly, and if you find a common interest in there, usually you should have no problem making friends as well. And lastly, another way would be joining a fraternity or sorority, which is basically what I did as a first year. Personally, I rushed for a fraternity my first year, and through my fraternity, I was able to meet a lot of people, and that's how I made a lot of my friends at first. But are academics hard at UCR? I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's just bottom line, it just comes down to discipline. If you're willing to put in the work, you will get a good grade, as I mentioned before. And I know a lot of people who ask me these questions are pre-med majors. For pre-med majors, advice is that I'm a business and not a pre-med student. However, I do live with a pre-med student. His name is actually Andre. Shout out to my housemate. Andre's doing really well at UCR. How I see is that Andre puts in a lot of effort. He studies 2 weeks before exams, and for a couple times he actually set the curve for OChem. At UCR, it's not that cutthroat for different majors. I know UCLA, UC Berkeley. I heard some stories that people create fake study guides, try to lower the curve so they can do better. But at UCR, from what I've seen and from what I asked Andre about, everyone's been really nice and friendly and willing to help out each other. If you want to be successful at UCR, you will be successful. How the off-campus choices? If you're a first year, I would highly suggest you to dorm. I feel like it's a great experience for myself, and plus it's a lot easier to make new friends in your hall as well. For off-campus, there's a lot of different apartments, such as the University Village and many more. And if you're a second, third, or fourth year, you can also live on campus at Glenmore. It's pretty different from the dorms. You get your own room, so I would say that's a lot nicer. Another option is currently what I'm doing right now is I live in an off-campus house. There's a lot of different housings around UCR, and I just live in a house with 3 other people. So the last question we have is general advice for incoming students. I would say this is probably the most important part of this video. The first general advice is definitely put yourself out there. Even if you're an introvert person, you have to put yourself out there. No matter what major you are, meeting a lot of people will be really beneficial for you. And bottom line, as I'm sure many of us heard the term, your network is your net worth. As in my opinion, college is a once-in-a-lifetime experience where you get to meet a lot of people from different places. A lot of times meeting more people will create a lot more opportunities for yourself as well. And the second advice is definitely draw a line of when do you want to have fun and when do you want to part. You want a group of people that will push you to become better. As I used to not believe this, but your environment plays a big role in how successful you will be. And lastly, just remember to have fun as well. For me, I have KSIG, which is my fraternity, and I also have my professional organization, ASUCR. So I truly believe that I'm not missing out any of the fun, but I'm also bettering myself professionally every single day. But overall, this wraps it all up for this video. If you have more questions, feel free to leave in the comment section down below. And most importantly, if you have any video ideas, please let me know. I'm bored in quarantine, ready to make more videos for y'all. A lot more time to make videos for y'all. Doesn't have to be UCR video. Just let me know what y'all want to see. Lastly, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Just smash that like button as well. Again, my name is Will Wang. Thank you all so much for your time, and I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful day. And I'll see y'all in the next one.